Let's now resume where we left off in the previous video by going over 3 additional tools or techniques for filling large voids in a 3D scan or photogrammetry scan. Before we explore other object creation tools that can also perform this task, I first want to show that we can still use the voxel fill brush to not only fill in small to medium-sized gaps, but even large ones like this. Rather than removing the floor straight away as I did previously, I'm going to use it this time in order to help build the surface back up between the shoe and the floor. I will hide the original and unhide the copy that I made of it. And also in the layer panel, I'll hide layer 1, which has all the color information stored on it. As I mentioned previously, this will allow us to see the surface of the model better. Let's now switch this layer to voxel mode. And I'm going to bring that up to, let's try 15 million. I don't necessarily need to close holes. Okay. Now we'll go back to the voxel tool section and select the fill brush. I'll use the same brush and technique that I had discussed earlier, and that is to brush the areas where volume already exists, but brush along the boundary of the open area and the volume, and that helps it to continue building volume into that opening. This time I'm trying to build up from the floor up, because if I had trimmed the floor away as I did previously, doing this would be much more difficult, and I probably would have to use some other volume building brushes in order to perform this task. But because I have the floor and parts of the shoe, I can use voxels to help shrink that opening until it's completely closed. So you can see how it's already merging right here. So as I brush in a circular fashion, or just brush around the edges of the volume that is already present, it helps me to fill that gap in. Use my 3D connection device to rotate around this area, filling that section in. I don't have to worry about making this too flat because I'm going to use a primitive. There's like a box primitive, essentially, to use it as a cutting object to trim this floor away when I've filled the volumes in. Next, I'll hit the spacebar and then choose the primitive tool among the object section. And I will pick a simple box, then scale it up, scale it along the y-axis. Now in the tool options panel, I'll choose the subtract mode and then hit the apply button, or I can hit the enter key. The primitive is still visible, but it's semi-transparent, and that lets me know it's just a preview object at this point. If I no longer want to see that, I can just select any other tool. I now want to trim the excess away using the cutoff tool, and I'll use the curves to do that. I'll go to the E panel and choose the closed curve draw mode, and that will automatically open up the curves editor. And I'm already in a curve creation mode. If you are creating an open spline, you can simply hit the escape key when you're done creating the path. But with a closed curve, all you have to do is click on the very first point, and that will close the entire spline. The second icon from the left allows you to edit points. The very first one allows you to edit entire segments or paths. Once you have completed your curve and you're ready to remove everything inside of it, all you have to do is hit the enter key with the cutoff tool. Obviously at this stage, I would use sculpting brushes to help further refine this shape, but I'm going to skip to the next example to show another option you might elect to turn to if you want to fill these large voids. As I had mentioned previously, I had already pre-created some curves in order to utilize with tools such as this Swept To guide, and effectively what this is a loft tool. It allows me to create splines that the object or the volume will travel along, and then it has a profile that helps form the shape. In the tool options panel, you can see the 3 list menus that allow me to either pick or select the individual curves and profile. On the bottom layer in the Sculptry panel, I have already pre-created this object by hitting the Apply Curves option. And you can go back and make edits to it and see live changes to this shape. But I don't want to take too much time to go into all the details of this tool, but I just wanted to point out it is an option that you can turn to. Let's look at one last example, and that is using a relatively new feature in 3D Coat 2025, which is the Lofted Surface option, using the on-plane functionality built into the Voxel Blob and Sphere tool, which are both volume creating brushes. It allows you to use curves like I have here, and when you check the on-plane feature in the toolbar, you can enable Lofted Surface from the list menu here. And that will create a grid spanning between the different splines that you have. This gives you a really good preview to make adjustments to your splines. In Edit Points mode, you can click and drag on the points to make freeform modifications, but for more precision, you may elect to select the points, then choose the Transform tool in the Curves menu. In this scenario, I want to simply fill the entire preview with volume, so I'll click Fill Lofted Surface. And I elected to have the volume placed on the very same layer as the body so that I can immediately switch to the Fill tool and begin filling in the remaining openings. All right, skipping forward a bit, I have gone through with the sculpting brushes and refined the shape, and now I want to use something like the pinch tool to provide a nice sharp crease where the leather of the boot meets the sole. So I'm using the same curves tool, but it automatically by default will snap to the surface if you are building over an object. I can go back to the Edit Points tool and just refine this curve shape until I'm happy with it. If I'm happy with the shape, I can simply hit the Enter key to have 3D Coat apply the brush stroke all along the spline. And I can also right-click on the spline and choose Brush Along Stroke. All right, we will stop the video here and pick up in the next one where we are going to work in the hair region in order to clean up the defects, but also we want to add some additional texture to the hair. Then we will bake the original texture onto the modified version and send it back to Blender to compare between the two versions. So stay tuned and thank you for watching.